When I was young, I carried rooms inside my chest. I could walk through them, feel them, hear them creak in the dark, but I could not name them. Thoughts without language, questions without shape. A map with no roads, a sky with no stars. And somewhere between silence and longing, I began to understand. Wisdom was not information. It was sight. People hear the word philosophy and drift away like leaves in a slow wind. Too academic, too abstract, too detached from ordinary life. Yet every person already lives by one. Every choice, every love, every fear, every ambition. Somewhere beneath it all sits an answer to the question: what is true? The Greeks called it the love of wisdom. The Hebrews called it skill. Not the skill of a scholar locked away in a tower, but the skill of a builder, a navigator, a craftsman shaping wood that will not split beneath pressure. Wisdom was never meant to stay on a page. Wisdom was always meant to become a way of walking. I remember studying theology, history, old books written by minds long buried beneath the earth. And something strange happened. The more words I learned, the more clearly I could see. Not because words are power, but because words reveal. A feeling became an idea became understanding. Understanding became direction. And suddenly the questions that had haunted me for years were no longer monsters in the dark. They had names, and things with names can be approached, can be examined, can be understood. But whenever the questions grew deeper, why do you believe that? Why does this matter? Why are we afraid to ask? I watched walls rise, defensiveness, anxiety, certainty masquerading as confidence. I once heard someone say, "We don't want to understand, we just want to feel." And I remember thinking, why choose? Why separate wonder from thought? Why separate faith from understanding? Why fear the very questions that truth should survive? If truth is truth, let it be questioned. If truth is truth, let it be examined. If truth is truth, it has nothing to fear. Maybe wisdom begins here, not in answers, not in certainty, but in courage. The courage to sit with mystery. The courage to say, "I do not know." The courage to follow a thought to its uncomfortable conclusion. The courage to discover that reality is bigger than your assumptions. Because wisdom is not collecting facts. Wisdom is learning how to live inside reality without constantly fighting it. A lantern on a table, an old book open, a quiet room after midnight. Somewhere a question waits, not demanding, not shouting, simply asking. Will you look? Will you listen? Will you follow? The ancient writer said, "Get wisdom. Whatever you get understanding." Not because wisdom makes life easy. It doesn't. Not because wisdom removes suffering, it won't. But because wisdom teaches you how to walk through both, how to separate noise from signal, fear from truth, reaction from reflection, how to think well, how to live well, how to stand before existence itself with open eyes. And perhaps that is philosophy, not an escape from life, but a deeper entrance into it, a stretching, a reaching, a refusal to remain asleep, a lifelong pursuit of what is real. So if you choose this path, bring patience, bring curiosity, bring humility. There will be more words, more questions, more mysteries, but there will also be light. And somewhere along the journey, you may discover that wisdom was never merely something to possess. It was something you were becoming.